Hollywood's power couple, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, are officially calling it quits. JLo filed for divorce on August 20th, 2024, just 2 years after their fairy tale wedding that had us all believing in second chances. But here's the kicker. They've been quietly separated since April. That's right, folks. While we were all admiring their red carpet appearances and gushing over their Instagram posts, Bennifer was already on the rocks. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, haven't we seen this movie before? And you'd be right. This isn't the first time Bennifer has hit the headlines with a split. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Cast your mind back to the early 2000s. Britney and Justin were still a thing. Low-rise jeans were all the rage. And Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were the it couple of Hollywood. They met on the set of the infamous movie Giggly in 2002, and sparks flew. By November of that year, Ben had put a ring on it, a 6.1 carat pink diamond ring to be exact. But as we all know, the course of true love never did run smooth. The couple postponed their September 2003 wedding, citing excessive media attention, and by January 2004, Bennifer 1.0 was officially over. Fast forward to 2021, and the world collectively gasped as news broke that Bennifer was back on. It seemed like a fairy tale come true, a second chance at love nearly 2 decades in the making. In April 2022, they announced their engagement, yes, again. And by July of that year, they had tied the knot in a whirlwind Las Vegas ceremony, followed by a lavish celebration at Ben's Georgia estate. We all thought this was it, the happy ending we'd been waiting for. But as we now know, happily ever after isn't always what it seems. Now, here's where things get really interesting. An old Playboy interview from 1999 has resurfaced, and folks, it's a doozy. In this blast from the past, a young Ben Affleck, fresh-faced and years away from his first Bennifer era, spills the tea on why his relationships always seem to crash and burn. And let me tell you, it's eerily prophetic. When asked if his exes are usually mad at him, Ben didn't hold back. He said, and I quote, "Mostly, yeah. But wait, it gets better." He goes on to explain that it's not because he's a bad guy. He's not abusive or a player. It's just that his relationships never end well. Sound familiar? So, what's Ben's relationship kryptonite? According to him, it's his tendency to avoid confrontation. He admits, during the course of a relationship, if you get dissatisfied and unhappy and don't say something, if you don't deal with it right then, it just festers and stays there. Instead of addressing issues head-on, Ben confesses he goes along with things until he just can't take it anymore. Then, boom, he's out, leaving his partner blindsided and, understandably, pretty ticked off. Here's the kicker. Ben explains. So instead of saying, "Look, don't do that. Please don't act this way," I go along with it until I just don't want to be in the relationship at all. Talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I know what you're thinking, but that was 25 years ago. Surely he's changed. Well, let's examine the evidence, shall we? After his high-profile relationship with Gwyneth Paltrow in the late 90s, Ben went on to date and eventually marry Jennifer Garner in 2005. They seemed like the perfect couple, with 3 kids and a seemingly idyllic life. But in 2015, just a day after their 10th anniversary, they announced their separation. The divorce was finalized in 2018. Fast forward to Bennifer 2.0, and we're seeing a similar pattern. 2 years of marriage, followed by a sudden split. It's like deja vu all over again. But here's where it gets really interesting. In the resurfaced Playboy interview, Ben talks about how he deals with relationship issues. He says, "Then I create some incident or do something or just don't call, and then she's pissed." Now, let's look at the recent Bennifer split. According to reports, JLo listed April 26th as her official date of separation from Affleck. This was when she was in New York filming, and Ben was back in LA. Could this be another case of Ben just not calling? The parallels are hard to ignore. Now, fast forward to 2024, and we can't help but wonder, did history repeat itself with JLo? Were there unspoken issues that festered until the relationship imploded? Rumors have been swirling for months that all wasn't well in paradise. An insider spilled to Entertainment Tonight back in May that Ben and Jen were having their ups and downs. On the same day, JLo raised eyebrows by liking an Instagram post about unhealthy relationships. Coincidence? You be the judge. But let's dig a little deeper. In recent months, body language experts have been having a field day analyzing Bennifer's public appearances. From Ben's seemingly disinterested expressions at the Grammys to awkward red carpet moments, the signs of trouble were there if you knew where to look. And let's not forget the paparazzi photos. Remember those shots of Ben looking miserable on their honeymoon? Or the countless coffee runs where he seemed more interested in his Dunkin' than in his superstar wife? In hindsight, these moments take on a whole new meaning. But before we put all the blame on Ben, let's consider another factor: the intense pressure of living life in the public eye. In the 1999 interview, Ben touched on this, saying, "I let it affect me, and I got unhappy, and I felt suffocated, and I felt angry, and I felt like I couldn't breathe." Fast forward 25 years, and the scrutiny has only intensified. In the age of social media, every move, every expression, every coffee run is analyzed and dissected. Could this constant pressure have contributed to the breakdown of Bennifer 2.0? JLo herself has hinted at the challenges of maintaining a relationship in the spotlight. In interviews, she's spoken about the importance of keeping certain aspects of her relationship private. But when you're one half of one of the most famous couples in the world, is privacy even possible? But let's not forget, this is Hollywood, and divorces here are rarely simple. Reports suggest that high-profile attorney Laura Wasser is involved in the mediation process. And here's where things get really interesting. Apparently, there was no prenup in place when Ben and Jen tied the knot in Vegas. Now, you might be thinking, no prenup for two of the biggest stars in Hollywood? Are you kidding me? But it's true, and it could lead to some serious financial wrangling in the months to come. Ben and Jen are both heavy hitters in their own right. JLo's estimated net worth is around $400 million, thanks to her multi-hyphenate career as a singer, actress, and businesswoman. Ben, while not quite in JLo's league financially, is still worth a cool $150 million. Under California law, assets acquired during the marriage are typically split 50-50. But given their short-lived union and their respective empires, the division of assets could get complicated. Will JLo fight to keep her hard-earned fortune? Will Ben's notorious gambling habits come into play? Only time will tell. But amidst all the legal and financial talk, let's not forget the human element in all of this. Ben and Jen aren't just separating as a couple. They're breaking up a blended family. JLo has twins, Emmy and Max, from her previous marriage to Mark Anthony. Ben has 3 kids, Violet, Serafina, and Samuel, with ex-wife Jennifer Garner. By all accounts, the kids had bonded and were adjusting well to their new family dynamic. Now, they're facing another major upheaval. How will this impact the children? Will Ben and Jen be able to co-parent effectively given the high-profile nature of their split? These are questions that will likely play out in the public eye in the months to come. As Ben and JLo navigate this high-profile split, one question remains. What's next for these Hollywood heavyweights? For JLo, if history is any indication, she'll throw herself into her work. She's got a new album on the horizon, aptly titled "This Is Me Now," which was supposedly inspired by her reunion with Ben. Will she delay the release? Rewrite some tracks? Or will she use this personal upheaval as fuel for her art? As for Ben, he's got several projects in the pipeline, including a biopic about Michael Jordan. But given his history of struggling with the pressures of fame, will he retreat from the spotlight? Or will he, as he's done in the past, use his work as a form of therapy? And of course, there's the question on everyone's mind. Will there be new romances on the horizon for either of them? JLo has a history of bouncing back quickly from breakups. Remember her whirlwind romance with Alex Rodriguez after her split from Mark Anthony? As for Ben, well, let's just say the internet is already speculating about a potential reunion with an ex. Jennifer Garner, we're looking at you. As we wrap up this deep dive into the Bennifer saga, it's worth taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. What does this high-profile split tell us about love, relationships, and fame in 2024? First, it's a stark reminder that even the most picture-perfect couples face challenges. Social media and carefully curated public appearances can only hide so much. In the end, relationships take work, whether you're a Hollywood power couple or just regular folks. Secondly, it highlights the immense pressure that comes with living life in the public eye. While fame and fortune may seem glamorous from the outside, they come with their own unique set of challenges that can strain even the strongest of relationships. Lastly, the Bennifer story teaches us about the power of second chances and the courage it takes to revisit a past love. Regardless of how things have turned out, we can admire the bravery it took for both Affleck and Lopez to give their relationship another try after so many years. As we process this news and revisit Ben's words from 25 years ago, it's natural to wonder, can people really change, or are we all destined to replay our relationship patterns? Ben's 1999 interview seems eerily prophetic when viewed through the lens of his recent split from JLo. The same issues he identified then: poor communication, avoidance, passive-aggressive behavior. seem to have played a role in the demise of Bennifer 2.0. But it's important to remember that people can and do change. Perhaps the real question is not whether people can change, but whether they want to. Change requires self-awareness, effort, and often professional help. Has Ben sought that help over the years? Has he worked on the issues he so candidly discussed in 1999? These are questions only he can answer. It's also worth considering how public perception plays into all of this. Ben Affleck has long been a polarizing figure in Hollywood. From his early heartthrob days to his struggles with alcohol and gambling to his career resurgence with Argo, the public has witnessed every high and low of his life. JLo, on the other hand, has maintained a more consistently positive public image. She's seen as a hard-working, multi-talented star who's overcome obstacles to achieve massive success. How will this split affect their respective public personas? Will Ben once again be cast as the bad guy, or will public sympathy shift in his favor? Another factor to consider is how this high-profile split will impact their careers. Hollywood has a long history of personal lives affecting professional opportunities. Will this divorce influence the types of roles they're offered? Will it affect box office numbers for their upcoming projects? For JLo, there's also the question of her music. Many fans were excited about This Is Me Now, seeing it as a triumphant love album celebrating her reunion with Ben. How will she navigate promoting an album inspired by a relationship that's now ended? While it's easy to get caught up in the drama of celebrity relationships, there are lessons here for all of us. Ben's candid admissions about his relationship patterns serve as a reminder of the importance of self-awareness and communication in any relationship. His tendency to avoid confrontation and let issues fester is something many of us can relate to. It's a stark reminder that no matter how much time passes, if we don't actively work on our issues, they have a way of resurfacing. The Bennifer saga also highlights the importance of timing in relationships. Sometimes, even when there's love and history, if the timing isn't right, things just don't work out. Their first attempt at love in the early 2000s fell apart under the weight of media scrutiny. Their second attempt, while more mature, still couldn't go the distance. It's a reminder that love alone isn't always enough. Timing, compatibility, and shared goals are equally important. Will Ben's next relationship break this cycle, or is he doomed to repeat history? Can JLo find lasting love, or will her star power always complicate her personal life? And in the age of social media and constant scrutiny, is it even possible for celebrities to maintain healthy, long-lasting relationships? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Ben's 1999 interview predicted this split? Are you Team Ben or Team JLo? Or are you, like many of us, just hoping both of them find happiness, whether together or apart? Remember, in the world of celebrity relationships, the only constant is change. Who knows? Maybe in another 20 years, we'll be talking about Bennifer 3.0. After all, stranger things have happened in Hollywood. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. And remember, whether you're a Hollywood star or just an average Joe, relationships take work. Communication is key, self-awareness is crucial. And sometimes, love really is lovelier the second, or third, or fourth time around. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, inside out.